you have a good idea, you have a good product, but not necessarily that this is being accepted by the market. So very since young, I already know that I'm not going to work for anyone. I'm going to work for myself. I've actually planned out everything. I still remember the first month that we actually struggled. When you're running a startup, right, you always need to pivot. Our tagline, where every cup connects and care. So I believe that coffee is a medium to connect people.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the A to Z podcast. And today we are going to discuss the A to Z's of entrepreneurship and business with Kingsley. Right, so Kingsley, he's a chartered quantity surveyor. He's also the managing director of K Meraki, as well as the founder of Niju Coffee. Like this over here. So we will talk more about that later. So Kingsley, he's also the senior at my high school. We are both alumni from SMK BU3. So I'm glad to have a fellow alumni on the podcast. So Kingsley, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Elton, for having me today.
Right, so we just came back from Chinese New Year, right? I am someone who spends my Chinese New Year in KL. Kingsley, where are you from?
I'm from KL.
As well?
Yeah.
So every Chinese New Year you're here, you don't brave the jam?
No. I just stay in PJ. It's quite boring actually.
Yeah, but it's getting a bit more, festive now. I think a lot of people are spending their time in KL as well, right?
Yeah, there's a very heavy jam in KL, especially in PJ.
Especially you go to the malls, right?
Yeah, correct.
Right. So can you tell us a bit of your upbringing, in KL? Where have you been? What do you study?
I study in PJ. Okay, my primary school is actually SJKC Puichai 1. And then after that I went to SMK BU3 where I met Elton, you. And for university, I actually studied in Putrajaya. It's quite distant from PJ. I studied in Harrow University. And then I traveled to UK for my final year. Then after that, I come back to work as a QS. And I ventured into a few businesses, including K Meraki and Niju Group as well. And that's now...
Then you're here.
Yeah.
I'm quite curious. So when I did some research on your quantity surveyor, it's actually a profession that I hear very often. But what do quantity surveyors actually do?
Okay, quantity surveyor is actually a contract administrative in construction industry. So what we do is we do cost planning, we do contract management, we do dispute management, and whatever thing that related to contracts, we are the one that handling it.
So basically construction, then you are the one that's managing the whole project. That's where you
It's not particularly in the whole project, but we are managing the whole contracts of the construction contracts. That means from the very beginning, before the groundbreaking. So we have to come in to do feasibility study to see whether this project is feasible or not, whether the developer is making money or making a loss. Then we will give advice to a developer whether what you should build, how many stories you should build, and how big you should build, and how much you should sell. And from there, we'll comes into the contract awarding, the groundbreaking session, the project starts, and then we manage the contract with contractors, developers, and subcons, suppliers. And then after that, we'll cover final account, where we sum up everything, how much is the total spending for the entire project, and then up to handing over final accounts. And if let's say any dispute happening in the meanwhile, we have to come in as mediator to solve the disputes.
And there's a difference between quantity surveyor and a chartered quantity surveyor, is that?
Yeah.
Also, what's the difference there?
Okay, so before we get our chartership, so we are not allowed to say we are the quantity surveyor. It's a contract executive.
Okay.
So once you pass, there's a board in Malaysia. We call it the BQSM, Board of Quantity Surveyor Malaysia. Once you have passed their exam, passed their interview, only you can call yourself as a QS. So we have a title in front of our name, which is SR. So same goes to architect, AR, engineer is IR. So for myself, I'm a chartered QS. So I'm able to call myself as a SR quantity surveyor.
Then only you can put your SR in front of your name,
correct.
That kind of thing, right? And is it, you're below 30 right now. Is it easy to get a charteredship, or is it something that people actually take a longer time?
Usually in Malaysia, as I know, there's people achieve chartership before 30, but not much. Most of them, they actually got their SR in the age of 30, 35, or even late 30.
Mhm.
And some of them don't even get their chartership.
Mhm.
So it's depending on how fast you want to progress it, because for now the new system is, if I'm not mistaken, you have to write logbook for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean your working experience for 2 years. Every single day you have to report on what you do, and then we have a certain area for us to achieve it, and then you need to come out with your critical analysis, and then after you pass your critical analysis, only you get to interview. So it's a 3 stage, which I say is not very difficult, but also not very easy.
Right.
It's all about determinations on how determined you are.
Right. So you're very determined to get it as
Yeah,
soon as
that's thanks
possible.
to my ex-boss, because he always encouraged me to get it done as fast as possible, as young as possible. And yeah, from the day one I joined the company, I start my logbook for 2 years, and then I've actually failed 2 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, I've actually failed 1 time of critical analysis, and I failed 1 time of interview.
Ah.
So when I failed my critical analysis, I acted quite fast. So I revamped my critical analysis, rewrite my critical analysis again, I resubmit, and then very fortunate that I have passed my second time. I mean, during my second time, I passed it, and then I I've been called for my first interview sessions. So my first interview actually I failed.
Oh.
Yeah. So then I'll say I reapply again. Then during my second interview, I make it.
Right.
So I'm actually achieved my chartership in the age of 26 even.
That is actually
Yeah.
pretty fast already, because
Yeah.
right after that you went to get
Correct.
your chartership.
Yeah, correct.
And
So I've actually spent about 3.5 years to get everything sorted.
and that's like, if you go and straight directly take the fast track and
Yep.
get it done, you
Correct.
can finish it
Yep,
within that.
correct.
And usually in this kind of fields, most people will go and work for others, right?
Yep.
What made you say, hey, I want to come out on my own? Do you see any signs that you have any entrepreneurial tendencies there?
I'm actually the main reason is because I'm actually grew up in a very business oriented family. So my grandparents, they are doing business. My dad is doing business as well. My relatives is all having their own business.
Right.
So I've been brought up in that environment. So very since young, I'm already know that I'm not going to work for anyone. I'm going to work for myself. So I've actually planned out everything
Okay.
before I come to work for myself. So during my during my uni, I've actually joined a startup to gain experience. So the startup is actually called Mola Rewards. I'm not sure whether you guys heard of it or not.
Yeah.
Mola Rewards actually, sometimes when you go to cafe or restaurant, when you pay the bill,
It's
they
like
ask you
cashback.
to something like that. They ask you to key in the phone number. Basically, it's a royalty program. So I've actually joined the startup company when I was year 1, if I'm not mistaken, year 1, and then I've actually learned a lot from my mentor. And then after that, I got my experience on how a startup works. And right after that, I've actually partnered with my friends to come up with a co-working space. So I tell my dad, because my dad is going to send me to overseas. So I told my dad that I'm going to delay 1 year.
Okay.
Okay. I want to invest in some business and try it out. So I learned my lesson there. I mean, it's still there. The business is still there, but I'm no longer with them because I went to UK, and then I learned my lesson there. So when I graduated, I joined my first company, the QS firm, as a QS. So I work in the QS, I do everything, then I got my chartership. Then from there, actually I plan everything lah. Yeah, basically I do like, it's not just 9 to 5. I do a lot of side
Right.
hustles to
I can see.
to set up the foundations. So when once the foundation is strong enough, then I decided, okay, it's time for me to work on something to grow my business. That's why
Right. So this episode is brought to you by Niju Cafe. So they are the top 10 cafe rated by Tatler readers in SS2. So they have sponsored our coffee for today. So do check them out. And back to the podcast. At what age did you come up with, like, you knew that you had that roadmap planned out for you?
I think it's during about Form 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Form 5. Then I've got the roadmap. I planned everything. And then even for now, I also plan like 5 to 10 years ahead what I'm going to achieve.
So actually, like, from 5, most of us, we're not even thinking about that. Right.
Yeah, because I think the main reason, as I said just now, is because I grew up from like the business-oriented family, right? So basically, they will say, okay, so what are we going to do in the next few years? What are the opportunities and what we should do? Yeah, I think from there I learned, and that's how it grind me into today.
The conversations in your households is a lot different than what other...
Yeah.
Right. So is there any particular, influence or inspiration that, moved you to entrepreneurship?
I would say it's all coming from my families lah.
Family lah.
Yeah, it's
Right.
more coming from my families, and then I also see a lot of success cases, and I always wanted to be a very good leader, and I want to bring my team to achieve what they want. So instead of growing myself, I would be more happy to grow my team.
Right.
Yeah.
And okay, so this is the part where it gets very interesting. You studied QS, right? Into all the construction, that area, that industry. What made you venture into F&B? It's like two different worlds.
It's actually an opportunity. Okay. During COVID.
Okay.
Okay. So during COVID, everyone knows every business closed down, right? So, during that time, my QS, we are actually very challenged because our projects is all suspended.
Right.
And then my dad's business also got affected. And then from there, we noticed that only F&B is not affected because they are still able to operate. You still can call Grab, Food Panda and stuff. So then I realized, okay, whatever happens in the world, food and beverage industry, it won't be affected because everyone is to eat, right? So from there, we are chit-chatting with my friends lah. So my friend come up with the idea, why not we start something out?
This was when you were in UK, or?
I'm already back in
You're
Malaysia.
Back in Malaysia, right, right.
So during the time, because my QS, nothing much to do, then I was, it's a pretty 2 years time, and then I just chit-chatting with my friends. Say, we should do something out. Maybe something related to coffee.
Okay.
So what we started is actually we brought in a brand called Cone Number 9. It's a ceramic cups in Bangkok. So we actually texted them and said, oh, I'm interested to sell your coffee cups. Because at that time, everyone is selling e-commerce, right? It's doing e-commerce, right? Yeah, correct. So we actually brought in our first batch of products from Bangkok. And then apparently it sells very fast.
Okay.
Yeah. So we order about, if I'm not mistaken, about 40 to 50 pieces, and it gone out within like 2 days. And then we stock again, and they sell offer again, and then we stock again. So okay, let's say, then I told my friend, okay, so it's something that we should do. I mean, we can do it. Then you say, why not we open up a cafe?
Okay.
To showcase our cups to everyone.
Not to sell coffee,
because we are selling coffee cups, right?
Yeah,
so we are initial idea is to open up a cafe.
Okay.
To showcase, that's like a cafe gallery to showcase the product, and then we serve some coffee. It's
in
a
those
very
cups.
Yeah, correct. It's very minimal scheme lah. Because we can rent a small shop and then buy in a machine and then showcase the cups and stuff. But things got changed once we do it. So we actually realized that by selling coffee itself is not sufficient.
Right.
So we develop our brand into a cafe. It's a proper cafe that's selling brand, selling cups, selling café and food and stuff. Then today we have the Niju
Yeah,
here
so
with us.
Niju, this is your coffee. We'll talk more about that as we go. And this is not your first business. We will talk about Niju in a bit. But I just want to move back about you actually did two previous ventures. My Birthday and Spillco is the co-working space, right?
Yep.
Why?
Correct.
I mean, you said you left one because you went to the UK.
Yep.
What did you learn there, and what was the reason you left the other one?
Okay, My Birthday is actually a birthday rewarded platform supported by Moola. It's actually my mentor and I curated this platform during my interns time in the startups. So we are actually testing it whether it's workable or not. But unfortunately, it's not workable in Malaysia. So the sign up rate is pretty low, and we actually sustained about a year, and the result is not as what we want. So that's why we suspend it. So what I learned in that particular is that you have a good idea, you have a good product, but not necessary that this is being accepted by the market.
Right.
Okay, so that I think there's a lot of startup facing the same thing as well. We keep on developing a very good product, but it's not depending on how good the product is. It's depending on how well the market can accept it, to consume it. So that's why we learn our lesson from there. So we stop it off, and then once I stop it off already, then because during the time I got in touch with a lot of startups, a lot of entrepreneurs, right? So I realized that they are actually working in co-working spaces. So back then, right, I still remember back then there's very limited of co-working spaces. There's only few figures. Then there's one in Sri Petaling, Sandbox.
Yes.
Yeah, Sandbox. And then there's a lot of small shop co-working spaces.
Especially in Uptown where I was at.
Yeah,
everywhere.
correct. So I was seeing a lot of co-working spaces are just fully occupied. Then I tell my dad, it's something that we can do because it's a trend. Then we started off. That's how I started off Spillco. So my dad is actually supported me as a learning curve for me. So instead of spending the money for me to go UK, so yeah, that's why how I started Spillco lah. So I left Spillco is because I have to go to UK, so I don't have time to manage, and then I don't have time to monitor it, and I want to focus on my final year because it's quite crucial for me. So I'm actually left the team, and I went to UK, and I focused on my study, and that's how I got my academic achievement lah.
Right. And so that means Niju is not even your first baby. There's a few ventures that you have done that actually led.
Not to say there's only one Spillco is my first venture.
Okay.
So My Birthday is actually we are actually it's a pilot program, something like that lah.
Right, something that's new that you actually tried and then you learn from it.
Correct.
So now with Niju, your tagline is where every cup connects and cares.
Yep.
What's the story behind Niju other than selling the cups? I don't think so. This is the cup that you're talking about, right?
This is not the cup that we are talking about. The cups that we are bringing in is actually ceramic cups. Okay, so our tagline where every cup connects and care. So I believe that coffee is a medium to connect people, but instead of just connecting people, I would like it to be more care, to have care into it. So what does this care mean? So in Niju, right, our visions is we have a gold paradigm, a golden paradigm lah. Okay, so in this golden paradigm, it includes as sustainability, affordability, and quality. So that's how we created the Niju blend. So Niju blend itself, we have actually mixture of 3 different countries: El Salvador, Vietnam, and Colombia, and each of these region representing our gold paradigm. So our visions is that a cup of coffee, it not has to be just taste good, but it has to be affordable to everyone. And of course, when you have a cup of coffee in your hand, you start to talk
Talk,
with people,
yeah.
right? Because we always say coffee talk. Yeah, that's how my visions comes into the brand. And I believe that Niju is not a normal cafe. We want to serve the community. You want to let everyone enjoy their coffee, even in whether you are having your breakfast, lunch, or even evening tea. So if you have chance, come to my cafe, you'll feel very different because we do have very comfort food. We don't sell something extra. It's very simple. It's very related to you. So it's also very affordable. You can have it every day. You can come every single morning to have our muffins breakfast with a coffee to start off your day. So that's how the tagline we present our brand, where every cup is about connecting and care.
Right. And there is something that actually you do differently. You're not just a cafe. Niju does have other branches that
We do have other branches. So far, we only have one branch, but we do have a community space. We call it the Niju space. So when we are talking about care, we care about community. So Niju space, we're actually supporting our community. So for example, entrepreneurs that you need a conference space that you want to have your meetings, you want to meet clients, you can always use our place. And then we also have a Mensa International. I'm not sure whether you guys know about it. They're actually having our office in our Niju space as well.
Okay.
So a lot of universities, associations, they use our space for their AGM. That's
So
how
you combine the concept of a cafe, a co-working space, shared
we
space.
don't call it a co-working space because we don't have hot desks, we don't have fixed desks. We only have the spaces for you to have your own workshops, your own meetings, your
Event
own,
space,
yeah,
basically.
correct, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also do have an academy, right?
Yeah.
Can you share more about that?
Okay, Niju Academy is about we teach people. We give out workshop to businesses. So for example, your company that you want to have a team building, you want to have event for your employee. Instead of having mundane team building sessions like go to hiking whatsoever, you can get us and engage us to give you a workshop, a latte class workshop, brewing class workshop. So from there, you create a lot of conversations related about coffee. Maybe not about coffee as well, about other things. So it started off with the coffee. And then, that's what the academy parts do. We give out lessons, we give out workshops, we give out events. Like for example, some business that actually want to engage their customers, their value customers, to have something different, right? So they give out a free workshop for their customers. So it's something very different from the industry. And that's how what we do in our academy sector.
I'm curious, like when let's say you have a team building or this kind of workshops with companies, how do they approach it? Like, because most of them are not baristas, they don't have any experience. And when they come, what are the things that you see?
Something fun, I would say something fun, because if let's say you are not into coffee, right, you don't know how to brew.
Yeah.
Right. So we do have an instructor to teach you how to brew, and then you brew it as a team. And then at the end of the day, we have a mini games. Like for example, which group brews the best coffee, and how do we know that? It's actually judged by our instructor. So throughout the whole process, the whole sessions, right, you'll find it a lot of laughter, a lot of conversations curated from there, because like, oh, you know how to brew, oh, why so bitter, something like that.
Right.
So it gives a different experience of having a team building, because when we talk about team building, right, we want to have the team dynamic.
Right.
So team dynamic is not just like a very structured plan that you have to do A, B, C to get team dynamic. It can be team dynamic can be created out from laughter, from conversations. That's how we encourage our clients actually do it. Give a different experience to the employee.
I think it's when you have this coffee brewing or this kind of workshop, it gets that curiosity going. Everyone is curious about.
Yeah, correct.
This kind of, and then when you curious, you ask questions, then you open up new avenues, right? With Niju, right? So now my question is, I don't think so any cafe starts off smooth sailing, right? You definitely have that peak when you start. You know, a lot of people come, new cafe. But then how do you sustain after that? Are there any challenges?
For us, it's very different.
Oh,
We
okay.
actually start up not at the peak,
Okay.
but at the bottom. So I still remember the first month that we actually struggled,
Uh-huh.
and the second one we struggled, and that's where my experience comes in.
Mhm.
So when you're running a startups, right, you always need to pivot, right? So we, as I mentioned just now, we actually start out with a small cafe, small scale, where we don't serve hot food. We only
Mm.
we plan to serve coffee, very coffee oriented. We have we have about 7 types of different beans
Mhm.
in serving in my cafe right now, and then we want people to encourage people to drink coffee, learn about filter coffee, and then choose your own beans and stuff. But then the result is not as not what we expected lah. Turn out it's quite bad. I would say quite bad. So we pivot from there. So we pivot from there. It took us about 1.5 years to successfully pivot the whole entire thing. So from a cafe that only selling coffee until now a full-fledged cafe that we sell hot food from morning lunch to evening tea, and then we actually growing every month. So instead of at the peak and sustain, we actually at the bottom.
Oh,
It's a curve. It's a growing curve.
Yeah, growing
Yeah,
curve.
it's a growing curve.
Yeah, and now there's so many cafes out there. How is the cafe scene looking like? Like people might say, oh, opening a cafe very saturated. You know, everyone's running a cafe. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with what you say. It's very competitive. That's why we need to have something different. So in Niju, we are not just a coffee. It's a cafe lah. Okay, we are a cafe that serve different thing. Instead of just coffee and food, we sell our visions. We build up our own community, and that's how we sustain. That's how we pivot from other cafe.
Right. And one more thing, I'm very curious. This 1.5 years is actually quite a long time to pivot. How did you survive that transition period?
We actually, I would say, we pivot. We pivot stage by stage. So from the very beginning stage, we actually expanded our menu to lunch menu, and then to dessert menu, and then to breakfast menu. So it actually takes us few months to monitor, and then we pivot again. But luckily that we are able to sustain within this 1.5 year because the sales is actually going up. It's just that the number is not very satisfying, but we are still able to sustain.
It's growing, but not at the pace that you like it.
Correct.
So I mean, before we end this segment is, can you just give one advice to, let's say, some cafes, they are struggling, you know, they want to bring in more people. What are some things they can do to make that pivot?
You need to know your audience. You need to know the area, what does the people want. Yeah. For example, you are selling a very, very good quality coffee at a very, very high price, but you're selling at a very community space. It might not be relevant. Right? You need to know the area, you need to know your audience, and to serve what they want, to serve what they need, and not get the customers to accept what your offering is.
It's similar to like when you did the birthday thing,
yeah,
right?
correct.
Right. If don't just promote your product as the best, but you see what the need of your
Yeah.
community is.
I mean, there's no right, no wrong. Some people think that if my product is good, there will be someone buying it.
Right.
But it's just depending on how long you can last.
Right. That's
Right.
very important.
Because in this very competitive environment, lasting is one of the major, it's very significant factors for me lah. I would say, last. I mean, winner always stays to last, right?
Yeah.
So, lasting long is one of the
sustainability that you mentioned. And okay, so you don't only run Niju, you actually run Kimaraki as well, which is your quantity surveyor. QS company.
Yeah, correct. So Kimaraki is we provide construction services where we do have a contract management, costing management, and we do have construction services in the industry. We provide all these services, whatever services that related to contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, how do you actually balance running two businesses at once?
I'm very glad that in Niju, I have a very strong team that
Mhm.
supported me. So what I need to do is just on management. So I don't have to be very hands-on on it.
Mhm.
My team have a very good capability to run it by itself, and it's about fully automated right now because we have successfully pivoted and we found our way. So of course I do have my very good partners, my team to help me out with that. And for Meraki side, that one is more a bit of hands-on because it's a professional works, right? So I have to be hands-on. I do have people helping me as well, but but I have to be more hands-on on it because when it comes to major issues, when it comes to important contracts, so I have to be hands-on, giving advice to the clients. Yeah.
Right. So day-to-day operations is now fully automated by your
Yeah.
team. You just have to come in with the main decisions
Yep.
and all those kind of
Correct.
things. So other than Kimeraki and Niju, are you part of any other initiatives? I think you mentioned that you're on some boards as well.
Yeah, I'm quite active in association, especially in the Chinese community, because I believe that our Chinese culture has to be
Passed
down.
Yeah.
And I realize a lot of young people, I mean, we are still young, we are considered young, right? A lot of
We're not getting any
people,
younger.
around our age, they are not interested in all these kind of activities. It's not in all these association because they think that it's extra for them. But for me, it's different. If you join all these, you know the historical of our culture. Um, without our our grandpas, our Chinese culture traditions, we are not able to enjoy what we are having today, especially the Chinese educations lah.
So what are the things that you do at the association? Like what do you promote?
So what we promote is actually we promote culture, we promote tradition, and we preserve our Chinese how to say values lah.
Yeah, I think that's very important. I think as we get, I was seeing the next generation say, hey, I don't want to learn Chinese,
Yeah.
On the Western culture.
Yep.
It's not just a Chinese thing, it's the Asian culture itself, regardless any regions, is slowly losing its relevance to the Western side.
So yeah, that's why all these association comes in to preserve it, to promote.
Last thing before we end, I would like some advice, all right?
Okay.
2 parts. One for the younger people, let's say they are in university, still figuring out how they want to be in life. And the second part is for professionals or people who are working like us. If they want to start a business, be an entrepreneur, what advice would you give them, right? So let's start with the young ones.
Okay. For young one, as I say young one, we are still young, right?
Yeah.
For those who are still in their universities, I always encourage them to explore more. Yeah. Try not to just hang around with your circle. Try to meet more people, to explore more, especially if, let's say, you're in university, you have a student association, you have a student club, whatsoever. Try to be more active in that. And it actually train you to be more skillful. You know more things, you learn more things. The more that you learn, is actually the more capitals that you have. So for me, my advice to them is actually learn more, meet more people, get to know more things as more as possible. Whether it's relevant or irrelevant doesn't matter because it's still a knowledge for you.
Yeah.
And then that's everything that you need to equip yourself when you are after you are graduated. Yeah.
And for people like, let's say, our age or even in your 9 to 5 or something, you would like to start a business on your own, what would you advise them?
Step back from your comfort zone. A lot of people tend not able to achieve what they want is because they are being too comfort. They feel insecure. But for me is, what do you have to lose? You're still young, right? You're not even 30 now. Step it out. Step out from your comfort zone. If you feel doesn't matter, come in again, man.
Mhm.
And yeah, I feel few times lah.
Yeah, I
So
can see.
if let's say I don't have the courage, I don't have the I do have a very good 9 to 5 job. I'm a professional. I can get job easily.
Mm.
I can get a very good pay job, but I sacrifice that, and then I join. I come up with my own venture. It's more, it's struggle. Until now, it's a struggle. But I always believe this lah. If there's something that you want, you need to be brave. You need to be brave and step out from the comfort zone and get it started. If you don't step out the first step, you won't be achieving what you want because you don't even start. So my advice is that if you really want the thing, try, look at it, step out and hit it. That's it.
One a bit more practical for them. What skill, or let's say any books, or what? Where can they start?
There's one book that I read. Okay, it's called Lean Startup. Okay, it actually teach you how to do your business model in a very lean way, to test it out first before you scale it up. So yeah, I think that's something that guys can explore it. It's called Lean Startup.
Okay.
And it's actually give you a very good model, a good strategy to test out your idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. So Niju, what's your plans for this? Are you opening new branches?
We are
What's your
actually, we
plans?
have a lot of plans coming ahead. Okay, especially this year will be a very busy year for us because we will be bringing a new brand to Malaysia. So I'm not going to disclose what brand yet.
You have to go there and find out.
And then we are also aiming to have new branches this year. Hopefully that we are able to secure down a good location. We are exploring on the location. And yeah, that's for this year. In terms of the next 5 to 10 years roadmap, we actually want to expand it into a chain of community cafes lah.
Okay.
So every spot that you go, you see Niju, and you see Niju, you get your good food, you get your good coffee at a very, very good price.
That I like. All right. Thank you so much, Kingsley, for coming on the
Thank you,
podcast.
Elton, for having me today.
All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to put in the comments down below. We'll answer them. And also do visit Niju Cafe in SS2. It's the same row as McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Same row as McDonald's on top of, what's that place called?
Mega Kulim
Mega.
Pharmacy.
Yes, that pharmacy, right? So all the socials and everything will be in the description down below. So do click it, check him out. Also follow Kingsley on Instagram and also LinkedIn. Everything will be in the description down below. Lastly, don't forget to like and subscribe if you have watched until this part. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.